Yep.
Hey there, welcome to ATL and 29, a podcast that looks at the NBA from the starting point of Atlanta. My name is Kevin Chenard. I'm here with Tyler Jones and Glen Willis. We're recording after the Heat game. We're a couple minutes behind schedule, so I think this podcast is officially going to be shorter than the Heat halftime.
Maybe.
But that was a nice, tidy win, wasn't it, Glenn?
It was a nice tidy win, but do that before the game. Cu- yeah, yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
pretty,
I
I'm
don't
pretty,
want to rant about that, but that's great. That
Glenn.
should not
I'm,
be
I'm,
a thing.
I'm pretty sure that's the second time the Heat have done that to the Hawks too. Like
Yeah,
I
you're right.
want to think, I think they did it when Dwayne Wade's jersey retirement or something happened. They did something. It was during the Hawks game. It was the same situation. So
And they just take their sweet ass time and do whatever they want, and there's no accountability, and
they're
it's
doing a podcast. They were doing a podcast out there. I'm like, man, y'all.
and here's the thing. I don't think one person outside of people on the court enjoyed it, appreciate like
Nope.
okay, what like move along. Like you guys are not the guys don't have the placement that you've had 20 years ago when you won this championship. I'm 54 years old. So my employees tell me all the time, Glenn, I'm good. You can't help me, all the time. And they know I help them all the time, but it's just little fun we have. But it's like, do this in 7 minutes. Like, come get out of here. So yeah, super, super,
Yeah,
super.
I mean it's also it's a pretty bad fan experience. That's just I don't know. I think that's really disrespectful. Like just to get serious for 2 seconds, like it's really disrespectful to both the fans of both teams, to people watching the game, to like burn time like that for like a self-indulgent, celebration. Like that is and like Heat fans, I'm like it's the organization, it's like a level of arrogance, like guys, th- people have jobs, people have families, people have things they got to do. Like this is not the most important thing in a lot of people's world is to watch a basketball game. And so like for them to do this, they already had their ball last night. Like I don't understand why they couldn't just do this before the game or after the game, like Glenn said. Like if they done it after the game, the true fans who would want to be there would
Take the
enjoy it.
time.
Like that. I just think it's really disrespect. Like I truly do think it's disrespectful to the people who paid money to
Mhm.
watch that game. Like that would piss me off if I'm at a game and like if I'm at a Hawks game and they're wasting time with a bunch of old guys. I'm like, bro, I'm not here to see retired basketball players that haven't played in 15 years. Like I don't care. Like that's not why people show up to arenas. But that's just another instance of the Heat like completely up their own asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like have some perspective, right? Like for me, it's like I peaked out athletically at like 14 or 15 years old, right? Then and I tell everybody all the time, like I was a good high school basketball player, right? Won like a tournaments, won an MVP tournaments a couple times. You know when that stopped mattering? When I became a dad and a husband, that shit did not matter at all to anyone at all. Like move on. So that's how the world works. But they're millionaires or billionaires or whatever, whatever. But yeah, have to me like have some perspective. So, and I guess we can try to talk about the game now, Kevin. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Who's the man of the hour? Is it Asa Newell, Quin Snyder,
oh, it's
Jalen
got to go to
Johnson?
Quinn. It's got to go to Quinn. I mean, Jalen had one of his best games on the season, but I got to give big credits to Quinn, who just would not allow um, would not allow Spoelstra to dictate the terms of how the Hawks were going to play offense. We're like, okay, you're going to play zone. We're just going to go max shooting. That means less Dyson, more CJ, more Nikhil, more Kispert, more Luke. And we're just going to put Jalen in situations where he's going to pick and choose what he wants to do. Like he's going to get the matchup he wants every possession down the floor because you got to switch all the shooting. And then if you're going to double him, he's good enough passer. He's going to generate open 3 pointers for some of the best shooters in the league. So I think this is like a big Quinn just being like it's very similar to what Quinn did a couple years ago with Trey Young, just surrounding him with shooting because like the Heat did not have the talent to win the game on merit. They had to gummy it up And so, like, I think it was good on him offensively to go that round. And then defensively, it's good on, guys like Kennard and Kispert and CJ to execute on defense. Like, they executed the entire game. The Heat don't run a difficult offensive scheme to figure out. You got to play your man. You got to be physical. Can't let them get downhill on you. And as long as the Hawks did that, they were able to get stops, get out and runs, and play in transition, which is what they do best.
Uh, what do you think of the decision to play Asa at center as much as they did? Was that just more spamming shooting, or was there some other things that, he did to hold up defensively to make that feasible?
Yeah, so there's a couple things there. One is, yeah, spam shooting, especially when Spo rolled out that zone in the third quarter, right? Mo doesn't function against the zone. Now, when they've gotten to back into man to man, traditional man to man, Mo was more effective. And Mo had some good moments on offense tonight. It comes and goes for him for sure, right? In that sense. But like Spo's a top 2, 3 coach in the league. Like it's unquestionable. And he's like Dyson's not gonna be able to do anything against our zone. Dyson can't get to his spots, so we're gonna take Dyson away from you. And Dyson produces when Dyson has space and shooters around him, he produces a lot of floaters and all that stuff. And suppose like we're not putting up with that tonight. So the work we had to switch to CJ and Jalen. That was the second half was CJ and Jalen, and it worked really really well. But I think Quinn was just like, we're just gonna put max shooting on the floor. That's what we're gonna do. So on offense, I think that they worked through that challenge and those issues. Now, obviously, Heater missing Wiggins, Hero, Norm, on and on, right? On down the line, and stuff. But they still play hard every possession, and they still compete every possession. They try to, and those young, even the young guys are trying to get to the rim. Like they're using physicality, trying to get to the rim and trying to challenge that. And the Heat. I mean, what they run there has a ton of continuity over 2 decades more and more now around how they develop into that stuff. And so it is I'm always impressed when I watch them play, just in terms of their commitment to fundamentals and all that sort of stuff. On the other end of the court, for me, you watch the whole so when Bam had the ball, I want to take a minute, break this down. So impressed. Asa, hands down. You cannot put your hands in front of you when Bam has the ball. He is going to get the free throw line if you put your hands in front of you. Mo, hands down. Asa, hands down. Koloko, and Jalen hands in front of him, and Bam is getting that foul. And so I want to have grace with Jalen. I really, really do because of how they're trying to grow his offensive role. But there are just some technique things, just some simple technique things on defense that you have to know. Like Bam is going to get the rip through. If you put your hands in front of you. He's gonna pump fake, and you're going to fall into him. And those defensive instincts for Jalen are just not tuned yet. Like I said, I want to have grace with him on that because the offensive ramp up for him is significant, but at the same time, it's like it's some basic stuff that hopefully they can work through. So I love Jalen. He was amazing tonight on offense. Had the triple double, all that sort of stuff. But there are some things on defense that are just like I don't know. You teach 10th graders, around this guy likes to do this, so don't get your hands out in front of you because he's going to like rip through and get that call. So hopefully it's just a thing where they're just having some grace with him. He's having some grace with himself, and we can have some grace with him too. But at the same time, you watch it, you're just like everybody else is doing this right,
Yeah,
So
that's the frustrating part with Jalen. Everybody's getting back in transition, and then you see Jalen just he either missed a shot or something went wrong on offense, and like he's the last man back, or he's not. He doesn't have his hips turned, so it's easy. Like Yaku Jonas is drawing fouls on you, driving to the rim. Like what? Like come on, man, have some more self respect on that end of the floor. But again, I thought overall, um, Jalen like defensively was good enough. Like I thought when the Hawks were scoring and they were getting back in transition, and he was solid. He was strong. He was doing his job for the most part. It's just like those mental miscues that, I mean, they ended up costing them. We talked about this. Those mental mistakes ended up costing the Hawks against the Pacers, like just 100%. Like if he just cleans that stuff up, they win that game going away. But because he didn't, he
Yep.
let the Pacers hang around, and they were able to make more shots than the Hawks were to close it out. And so, like, he's got to understand, like, more often than not, these games come down to 5 points or less, and like you just not doing the bare minimum it's going to cost your team the game in the playoff. Like it absolutely is going to cost the team in the playoffs. Just you not doing the minimum, and there's no level of, but he's getting it back on up. Like that doesn't matter, man. Like NBA is a zero sum game. There are only so many possessions. You cannot afford to waste possessions on mistakes that are just basic, like the ones that Jalen has made this season. But again, I don't want to be too hard on him. He was dominant throughout the game. He was the
Yep.
best player on the floor.
Yep.
The Heat again, but it just goes back to when he plays against teams that don't have the size to physically match up against him, he's just gonna roll through them. And so, like it's good that he was able to dominate for the most part, but you do wish he cleaned up the small stuff.
Yeah, and the rebounding too. Like, not that he needs to clean it up, but that he contributes that. Like they just they're just a better defensive rebounding team with him out there, but also with Zaccharie Risacher out there. When he's out there rebounding, like they look like a good defensive rebounding team when those two are out there together. Like it almost feels like a different game when they have Risacher out there as their starting small forward. Now I know in this game he was playing a lot of quote unquote power forward, but that's against the Heat using a lot of essentially like four guard kind of lineups. But he just looks like a he's maturing. Like he's getting
Yeah,
stronger, like physically stronger. And he's at the point now where you can't say, "Hey, he's skinny. I'm just going to bully you." And he can switch onto a center and hold his own. He can box somebody out and hold his leverage points. Like he's so much stronger than he was a year ago, and it's like making a big difference.
he's playing.
Yeah,
I mean,
when he's getting back down, like he goes to the rip down, like he rips down on the ball. I mean, he knows how to counter. Like, oh, this guy's got 40 pounds on me or whatever. I'm going to try to go attack the basketball, and make this happen. And that processing is just it's just getting better and better and better and better. And I know he'll still say, I still got to get more, still got to get stronger. You know, he's young, but him learning like I can't keep this guy from backing me down, so I'm going to go attack the basketball. That's what I'm going to do, and that processing is just it to me it's impressive, and I don't. It's okay if not everyone sees that. That's fine. That's totally fine. Like, but he's really learning how to lean into his length and how to lean into technique. And for a guy who's in his second NBA, season, that's impressive. So I ride with Zach all day, and just uh, excited to see like when the processing just want the body to come along. When he's 22, I think he'll be stronger and more grown man body or adult, whatever word you want to use. But he'll get there physically on that side too. He needs some time to continue developing the body and the strength.
he's playing. I mean, he's playing with more physicality on both ends, and like he's playing with more aggression. Though he hasn't been rewarded with points like the box score or whatever. But like I just feel like he's doing a little bit more. Um, Even before the knee injury kind of curtailed him. Like he's rebounding, he's bringing the ball up the floor, he's looking to make plays on offense. Defensively, he's looking to block shots, he's looking to get steals. He's diving on the floor, he's getting rebounds. I do think the rebounding is big for him because he needed to like figure that aspect of the game out. That's something he was really bad at his rookie year and a little bit of part to begin this season. But if he turned around his rebounding, then the game of basketball just comes a lot easier for his type of player because again, he's just so big, at 6'9", 6'10" in shoes. Like the rest of the game will come along naturally. So like but he needed to get this rebounding down and hopefully he can continue this trend throughout the rest of the season. It is unfortunate though that Kristaps didn't play today. That was unfortunate because, like, I mean, because you can see, like, man, if the Hawks have their two centers, this is a really good basketball team. Like, just flat out, like, no disrespect to Ace and Mo, they both played well, but the Miami's a small basketball team. Their centers don't beat you with physicality. This is a good matchup for them. But like you see the talent that they have, the offensive talent now that they have, when they made the trade to bring more offensive juice on the team. They've been playing some pretty good defense for over a month now, and it's kind of continues to trend that they're just a good defensive team pretty much when Trey doesn't play this season. So like if they can get KP, like if KP can just give them something, they can make some noise in the playoffs. But he was supposed to play today, and then he got sick apparently. So you just don't know with him. But hopefully he can come back pretty soon.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Again, it was for anybody that didn't track the timeline because they were doing their day jobs. He was questionable to play with his Achilles injury. Then they ruled him in and said, yes, he's going to play tonight. And then at the last minute tonight, they said he was out for illness. So that was, and of course, he's missed so many games this season due to illness. So it's hard to even know, is it the same illness? Like we don't even know. But I wanted to say, before we leave Zaccharie, I just wanted to say one more thing about him. Like, and it's not even necessary. Like before, the things we were talking about was like, well, he's so much better at doing this in his second season than his first. Like, he was just so good. Like when the Heat wanted to go sort of one on one and try to do a dribble move at him, it's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, and it's not so much comparing him to his previous season, but comparing what he does in that situation compared to his predecessors when he was out. It's just night and day. Like you can't go mismatch hunting and say, well, we're going to try to take Zaccharie off the drive because one, he's just good at moving his feet. And then after he's done that, he's just long enough that you have not lost him. He's there to block a shot. Like it just makes so much difference for the Hawks defensively. Like if he's out there with Dyson and Nikhil, and then he's doing that, it just seals everything up. The holes are gone.
Yep. Yeah, and it reduces your dependency on rim protection when you're containing the ball, when you're containing drives, all that sort of stuff. So, for me, it's like I said, I want to say all the time, like if you're like, I just want to watch the game and relax and like don't want to dig into fine, totally fine. Like no judgment, zero judgment at all, right? But when you like, I don't know, sometimes I'll watch him defend a possession, I'll run it back and watch it three, four times, look at all the little stuff he's doing. It's really impressive. It is really, really impressive. So I almost want to tell Hawks fans like, get over the fact that he was the number one pick in a watered down draft class. Right? Are there other guys who are making more of an impact from him now? We can argue. You can argue about that. I don't want to argue about that. I want to give him time to grow into the role that he has. But I watch him defend a possession and watch it five times and look all the little things he's doing technique wise. That is way beyond his years, you know. And but like I said, you don't have to watch it that way. If you don't watch that, well, don't want to watch it that way, that's totally fine. But I will watch it three, four, or five times, like all the little stuff he does, and it's wildly impressive for his age and experience level.
Yeah. We could do some of the 29 part. What do you think of the Harden Darius Garland trade?
Oh, I think that's tragic for Cleveland.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
No, I disagree hard.
Okay,
Here we
let's
go.
fight.
Uh,
Fight, fight, fight.
Harden. I mean, Harden's a better basketball player than Garland now, probably going forward, and also like they really needed somebody to take some pressure off of Donovan Mitchell because like they're just a bad basketball team when Mitchell doesn't play. Harden can do that, um, and like this is a good system for him. I just think. I mean, I just think the Cavs have to go for it. Like Donovan Mitchell's one of the best basketball players in the sport, and they owe it to him to do what they can. And like I don't like it's that they only have to give up a second is probably good business for Cleveland. Garland's just, I mean, we talk about it all the time with Trey. I mean, we're talking it out now with Garland, like these small guards. The problem is like once they lose the little athleticism that they have, it's a major problem. And like Garland has these foot problems. I don't know if he'll ever return to all-star form. I think he'd still be a good player in this league, but it's just I don't get it from the Clippers side other than James probably made it known that, hey, if you're not signing me to a contract extension, I want to go somewhere that would. So I just think the Cavs had to try something because like I think like the writing is on the wall for this Cleveland team. Like they have to do something in the playoffs. And like the team they have now wasn't good enough. And they had to try something else. They're probably going to try to do something with Jared Allen too, but I don't know if they can. Again, centers just don't have much value in this league. So like I just think the Cavs had to do something. I do think it's an upgrade, but it does speak to their desperation as an organization. Be like, Mitchell's not going to sign this contract extension if we're not winning because like Donovan doesn't want to get tagged with the loser, career loser mentality. Like he's legitimately one of the best basketball players in the sport. And like doesn't I don't think he gets the amount of credit that he should based on his level of production because he's still been unreal this season.
Yeah, I appreciate all of that. The thing for me though, and Kevin, I ask you, like, as long as you've been kind of front and center with the Hawks, like, what does Kenny Atkinson really value? Move, pace, split, move the ball, don't overpossess the basketball. And Harden comes in with the antithesis of that. Like he's going to dribble the ball. And so I want to. I don't want to prejudge it. I want to be like try to be mature about it and not prejudge it. But I think my instinct is it's going to be wonky and that Harden's going to be antithetical to like what really Kenny wants to see his team do. Now, maybe Kenny's gonna be like, "Hey, James, we're gonna like you're phenomenal, like creating and like he's very physical. He's really physical. There's a lot he brings to a team for sure, and I don't want to discount it. He's a first ballot James Harden is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question in my mind at all, right? But what Kenny desires and values on offense, he's gonna have to have some flexibility there to create a little bit of duality on how that works and Kenny's really smart. I mean, he's a good, really good coach and really smart. And maybe he can allow space for that duality. But it's going to be to me, it's going to be interesting to watch and see if he can navigate that. Because it's going to be different with Harden on the team to see how that goes. But to Tyler's point, it's like Donovan Mitchell, like they had a great year last year. So and they've been, at the top of the conference, when they've been healthy and all that sort of stuff. But this is a roll of the dice, and Kenny's going to have to figure it out with those two guards and see how he makes it work. But like I said, I want to try to be an adult and not prejudge it too much, but it feels like it's going to be difficult to kind of get those two guys to coexist.
I mean,
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
it's a desperation move without question. Like, but I think they looked at it as like, who's the best basketball player we can get for Darius Garland right now? And it was James Harden, who's on an expiring contract, and they're like, all right, let's do it. I think that was the calculus. Like they can't. I just don't think they're in a position to like be like, all right, no, Garland's hurt, he's gonna get healthy. Like Garland's 26 years old and he's small. There's no guarantee he's going to get back to all-star form. Combined with we're already a lot like we're already like too small in this backcourt with Garland and Mitchell. Like we're that's and so like I just think I think the Cavaliers are desperate. Like I do think this speaks to we are desperate. We got to try something else because like if if for nothing else, like maybe Garland's not going to be able to come back for the rest or be good enough because we can't afford for this injury thing to be like to cost us in the playoffs. Like that can't be an excuse again. Like that's the nature when you're at that level of championship because the Cavs are unfortunately at the position where it's championship or bust. They're one of the most expensive teams in the league. They have to win the title, and they're what 28, 21. Like they've been not that good. Like they're like an okay NBA team, like 48, 47 win basketball team for the season. Like this is not the team that they're paying for. It's not the team they signed up for. And unfortunately, like they've traded all their assets. When you trade all your assets, give up all your first round picks for Donovan Mitchell, This is just the position you put yourself in when things don't work out because you're capped out and you have limited moves and you recognize Mitchell Garland, we don't think this is going to work going forward. We got to try something else. So I just think I think there, if anything, this speaks to why it's important for NBA teams to hoard their cap space because there's a very real possibility Donovan Mitchell is going to be a free agent in 2027. So like I just think it speaks to like the reality of the situation that the Cavs are in. Like it's unfortunate for them as an organization that they're here. Again, I think Harden's going to help overall, but Glenn, I share your concerns. Like he doesn't fit how Kenny wants to play. Like that's without question. But you got to throw Theorem out. We got to win some games. We have to win games in the playoffs. It cannot be, oh, Garland's hurt again. Like we can't afford this. And when or if he's healthy, he's getting hunted 100% of the time. Like the Heat like the Miami Heat talked about this, how they weren't able to attack Darius Garland in the first round when they got absolutely dragged because Garland was hurt during that playoff series. They weren't able to attack him, so they had no. I mean, it's similar to what looked like against the Hawks. They had no one player to attack, and they were dead in the water, like from the opening tip. And like I do think, for all of James Harden's weaknesses on defense, he's strong and physical. And he will always be strong and physical and have long arms. That just naturally makes him a better defender than Garland. So like I think this is a pure desperation move, understanding that the writing is on the wall for this organization. Like that, they got to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
the
Cavs miss. Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I was just gonna say the Cavs miss Okoro.
Yep,
and they
absolutely.
miss Strus.
Yeah,
and so they're not as equipped to deal with the Garland hunting.
Yeah,
where they just say we're going to go at Darius Garland. They can't cover for his weaknesses on defense like they could last season.
Yep.
And so just that lack of continuity, that lack of being able to put out as many good basketball players who are also good defenders really hurt them. And so yeah, I think it's a good move that they did this. Do I think that they solved all their problems? No. Do I think that they're going to make a whole lot of noise in the playoffs? No, but I think they got a little bit better. And Kenny certainly has a lot of problems to solve at this point, but it's better than what they were going to be, and what they were going to be is just not very good at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the postseason, once you get past the first round, the good teams turning you into ISO mid-range. They're forcing you into a bad shot profile. Harden can handle all that. He can, even at 36 years old, he can handle all of that. Now, can you make the rest work? That's what Kenny has until now, until the playoffs to figure that stuff out. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great coach. Again, the duality is for him to find that balance between all of that. But when you get second round of the playoffs, man, your shot profile goes out the window. The other team has 2 weeks to plan for everything you're trying to do. Harden's physical, gets to the free throw line, knows how to get to his spots. That stuff's valuable in a postseason context, especially after the first round. And so I want to leave space for that value that Harden brings in that way and what he can do.
Did the Harden thing in any way surprise them? Do you think that they would have still done the Schroeder-Hunter trade if they had known that the Harden trade was coming?
No idea.
I think they did the Hunter trade to get rid of Hunter and his money.
Yeah, I think so.
And also to get the better basketball player, Keon Ellis. No idea what the Kings are doing. So I think getting Keon actually helps them a lot.
Yeah,
because he's a perfect player to pair next to James Harden. So
great
he can give them some of what Garland gave them,
great defensively.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So I just I do think the Cavs have gotten a lot better. I don't think they're done. If you're going all in like this, you might as well go all in. There's still some players they can get and really try to go for it here. And I respect that as an organization for them to go to above and beyond to try to figure something out. Because again, they knew this was not going to work. And so I respect them trying a different avenue, understanding that they're under the clock. They only have a couple of years of Mitchell left. So, I kind of respect I respect the decision, but it's tough if you're a Cavs fan to be like, man, we really traded a guy we drafted and who's made a couple of All-Star games here for just for a 36-year-old aspiring James Harden. But I mean, it kind of just speaks to the reality of the NBA today. Like it's just
Yep. Yeah, it's
if you're
like
not
playing Texas Hold'em and just pushing all in on a short window. That's a little bit what that's like. So
when you don't have your picks, when you don't have your picks, you either got to stop digging or you got to keep digging into and
yeah,
hope you find diamonds and gold
yeah,
down there. Like there's no choice. Like so like, and they decided we're going to keep digging until we find something. And like that, I think they still have the talent. Like again, the East wide open. They're playing a little better. They're playing a lot better. And I do think stagger. They're probably going to stagger James and Donovan Mitchell. That should do that should get them through this regular season so that they have a better standing in the regular season. There's maybe get home court and all that good stuff.
agreed.
If you
Agreed.
keep digging and keep digging and keep digging like the Cavs are, and you actually do get to the bottom of the hole, you're the Bucks.
Here are the
Yeah,
Bucks. Yeah.
Are there other trades that have happened, or are there other possible scenarios, rumors with the upcoming trade deadline that strike your fancy?
I mean, to me, the Memphis Utah trade was wild to me. You know, I think Austin Ainge, who's I guess running things. I don't know. It was Danny, like, who's running things there. That's a little bit wild to me. But interesting that Memphis wanted to move on from him. And they got a lot of draft capital in the Bain trade, and they got a lot of draft capital in this trade. So, I think we can see what they're doing and such. But what Chicago's doing is interesting to me. They got Anthony Simons, who is a dynamic scorer from Boston, but they have it feels like they have 11 guards on that roster or whatever the number, whatever the number is now. You
They freed
know,
up Javon Carter.
they freed up for John Carter, who could help the Hawks if there's playing time for him. Is there? I don't know. You
No.
know, it.
no,
Yeah, I agree with you. Probably not. So it's. I mean, it's like today was. It was. I was at a cybersecurity conference all day today. I presented for an hour, and so I had a hard time keeping up. But today felt like the heavy day. Where a lot of stuff happened today, and I still haven't unpacked all of it. But that trade was really interesting to me between those teams. And it'll be interesting to see if I wake up tomorrow morning and I'm not on Twitter right now. We talked about that, but to see if I could kind of follow the rest of the moves that are happening and can have a chance to opine.
Tyler,
I
I know
just
you follow Memphis kind of close. What did you think of that trade?
yeah, no, I just think they were wanted to get off Jaren's contract combined with maximize their value to a desperate Utah team that needs to do something. And I think Utah made a mistake here. Like I don't quite understand what they're doing with Jaren, but I, I mean it's kind of just reality of this league, man. If you're not one of the best players in this sport, you can be traded. So like I think that's just kind of what it shows there.
Draymond's even saying that now. So, so
It's reality.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with Tyler's end on that Memphis deal. That didn't make sense to me. All right. Let's do this again soon, and good night, Bob.
Good
Good
night,
night,
Bob.
man.